This is module number 4 of the PCS Hazard Communications Training, November 2013. The second of 3 major revisions to the standard are label requirements, and labels on ship containers must include the following. The first and last items, product identifier and supplier identification, are identical to what is currently required. The 4 in the middle, signal word, pictogram, hazard statement, and precautionary, are new, and we will review those in some detail. I ask that you pull out the attachment that is labeled an OSHA Quick Card, Hazard Communication Standard Labels. I'm going to show you on the OSHA homepage here, www.osha.gov, where that can be found in the In Demand section. Under the Hazard Communication link, it'll take you to the Hazard Communication page, and there's a labeling link that takes us to this sample label. The first new element of a label is the signal word, which is a word indicate the relative severity of hazard and alert the reader to a potential hazard on the label. The signal words used in this section are danger and warning. Danger for the more severe hazard, warning for the less severe. Referring to our sample label, the signal word is danger. The next new component of a label is the pictogram, which means a composition that may include a symbol plus other graphic elements such as a border, background color, or color that is intended to convey specific information about the hazards of a chemical. 8 pictograms have been designated by OSHA for this standard for application to a hazard category. Here are the 8 OSHA pictograms with one non-mandatory environmental pictogram. You'll see a lot of the information that we've already talked about with carcinogens and aspiration toxicity. Obviously this is a health hazard. The flame is a physical hazard. We talked earlier about pyrophorics. Exclamation point are some more acute health hazards. Gas cylinder is a physical hazard. Corrosion is both a physical and a health hazard. And exploding bombs and oxidizers are physical hazards, and then the skull and crossbones represents very acute toxicity. On our sample label, the hazard pictograms are shown here, and they represent a health and an oxidizer. These OSHA pictograms should not be confused with Department of Transportation transport pictograms or labels, as you can see here on this chart. These Department of Transportation labels are required on the outside shipping container for all hazardous chemicals. Chemicals in smaller containers inside the larger container do not require the Department of Transportation label, but they do require the OSHA pictogram. You may see both the Department of Transportation and OSHA pictograms on labels, and I will show you an example of that here now. I'll ask you to pull out another attachment titled OSHA Brief on Labels and Pictograms, which can be found again on the Hazard Communication page. And if you go to the last page of this document, page 8, you will see samples of labels that would be used on the outside and inside of a shipping container. The top one is with the OSHA pictograms for use on an inner label. The bottom one is with the Department of Transportation labels and are pictograms, and it's to be used on the outside label. All the other information in these are the same, and you can see that the oxidizer in the yellow here corresponds to the oxidizer in the OSHA pictogram on the inside label, and similarly the corrosion pictogram is similar to the one in the Department of Transportation. And that is the end of Module 4.